mostly reading. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Damage 365 Radio. This is episode number 15. This is WrestleMania 30 weekend, and it is also the 1-year anniversary of Damage 365 Radio. We want to welcome everybody to the show. I am the host, Coach Kev, along with the real number 8 JT, who's in the house today.
Happy WrestleMania and happy anniversary.
And via satellite, we have Nick the Beard in the house.
Happy anniversary. It's 60 degrees. It's sunny outside. It's WrestleMania Sunday. Let's get it going.
There's only 3 things that I can compare WrestleMania Sunday to, and that is the Stanley Cup Finals, the 4th of July barbecue weekends, opening day of softball season, and Super Bowl Sunday. That is about it.
I agree.
Can't complain with that too much.
I mean, this is how big WrestleMania is, folks. We have a great show in store for you today. Right now, we do have one of our guests still pending. Well, I guess we'll find out if he calls in or not today. That would be the former WWE Intercontinental Champion and UFC Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock. We will have former New York Yankee Billy Sample on the show around 6:10, and we will talk about his new movie that he is promoting and what he thinks the New York Yankees will be doing this season and how they will do this season. And I think we got a tournament champion to talk about, ladies and gentlemen.
That we do.
I really think we do. So without further ado, let's get into that. And it was the greatest big men in wrestling tournament, ladies and gentlemen, and it came down to 2 giants. And I am not being sarcastic. It was the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, versus the world's largest athlete, The Big Show. And if I remember correctly, JT went with Andre, correct?
That is correct.
And Nick the Beard went with The Big Show.
Yes, I did.
And Coach Kev went with Andre the Giant as well, if I remember correctly.
Good decision.
Because it was Andre the Giant winning his second tournament for Damage 365. Not only is he the man of the 80s, he is the men of big men. And he is crowned the greatest big man in wrestling, the all-time champion, at least for year number 1. Who knows what year number 2 will hold. And since we have some extra time, because, you know, we're speeding through things as usual, because you know how I do things. I put everything in time and then breeze through them 145 miles an hour. Our next tournament is going to be the greatest WWF Winged Eagle Champions. And the bracket looks like this, ladies and gentlemen. In round number 1, it is The Undertaker versus Kevin Nash. Nick, what do you think?
That's a great matchup. I mean, you can't go against Undertaker, though, in that matchup.
Okay, you?
I'm going to go with Nick and The Undertaker as well here. You can't go against The Undertaker.
Well, Kevin Nash was one of those WrestleMania victims to The Undertaker, so I will go with The Undertaker. Shawn Michaels versus Bob Backlund. Nick?
Whew. Wow, what a matchup. You got to go with Mr. WrestleMania, though. Bob Backlund's one of my favorite of all time, but you got to go with Mr. WrestleMania.
I'm going to go with Bob Backlund just because I was a huge fan of the cross-faced chicken wing.
I'm going to go with Shawn Michaels because when Bob Backlund had the Winged Eagle title, he was already way past his prime. I think it was kind of a gimmick they gave him the title to begin with. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the last man to hold the Winged Eagle Championship, against a man that technically didn't win the championship, but he did wear the title, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Nick?
Stone Cold. It's just plain and simple. Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Drink a bit of that.
We got a trifecta. We'll drink to that. Next round will be Sid Vicious and the aforementioned two tournament time champion, Andre the Giant. Nick?
Andre. I mean, I picked against Andre a lot so far, but I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna go with Andre in this one.
I see you've smartened up, my friend. Do not pick against Andre the Giant in a Damage 365 radio tournament.
That's right. So I'm assuming you took Andre. I will take Andre as well. Maybe the most popular man to ever hold this title, Hulk Hogan, against maybe the one who is the least popular to hold this title, Sergeant Slaughter.
Hulk. It's you can't go against Hogan in this situation in a Winged Eagle tournament.
I go with Hogan as well. Although you got to give Slaughter a lot of credit. I mean, for doing what he did around the time he did it.
Yep. And wearing camouflage and having a purple championship belt.
That's right.
Speaking about purple championship belts, maybe the most interesting matchup of this first round, the Ultimate Warrior, the newly crowned 2014 WWE Hall of Famer versus the Macho Man Randy Savage.
What a matchup. Wow. I have to go with Macho Man there. I know he's your boy, Kev, so I'm going to go Macho Man in that matchup.
Seems to be the most interesting matchup in the bracket, I think.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Macho Man as well.
And, of course, I'm going to go with the Macho Man Randy Savage. Luck of the draw, because we did have an odd amount of wrestlers who have held this title belt. The Nature Boy Ric Flair receives a round 1 bye and an automatic advance into the second round.
Woo!
And he will face the winner of this matchup, Bret the Hitman Hart versus Yokozuna.
Bret Hart. Even though Yokozuna did beat Bret Hart at WrestleMania, I'm going to go with Bret Hart.
I've seen this match before. He only beat him because Mr. Fuji hit him in the face with the powder. I'm going with Bret Hart.
It's not powder, it's salt.
Whatever it is.
Come on, salt. I'm going Yokozuna because I am the underdog.
Underdog doesn't always win.
And it's shout-out time. It's shout-out time. And here we are. Happy birthday to Damage alum Nick Hamburger. Happy birthday to Damage alum John Nielsen. And happy birthday to Damage alum Gary Rosenthal. And happy first birthday to Damage 365 Radio and the launch of Damage 365 Radio Network, ladies and gentlemen. Happy birthday to everyone out there that's celebrating their birthday today on WrestleMania Sunday. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody out there celebrated a birthday today. Had a great day, great weather, that's for sure. We are waiting in for our first guest caller of the day, former New York Yankee Billy Sample, who will be promoting a brand new movie called Reunion 108, and we're waiting for him to give us a call. While we wait, we will say that yesterday we were invited to a brand new wrestling promotion called UWA Elite, and I will say that we had an awesome time.
Put on a great show.
I mean, they put on a wonderful show. Not only did these guys, wrestle great matches, they wrestled numerous great matches. Some of them wrestled twice last night, multiple matches against multiple opponents. But I say about anywhere between 12 and 15 matches, no intermission, and it was a pretty good night from South River, New Jersey, and a lot of the proceeds went to the Leo Fund, raising money for one of the wrestlers, Ryan Rumble, whose friend passed away, Leo, from cancer. The last 2 weeks we promoted, and they packed the house. I mean, there was standing room only there at the South River location, and JT and I were welcomed with open arms. The PA announcer announced us 3 or 4 times as one of the sponsors of the event, and it was great not only to get recognition for what we do to help indie wrestling, but just the fact that we were there, and people now know our name. So
it was a fun show to be at.
Now if we don't go to another show, people are gonna be like, "Where's Damage 365 Radio?"
That's right, but we'll be there. So
we will be there with our pens, folks. We will be there with our lanyards and
hand pens and lanyards out.
Yeah, man. Anybody come up, grab a handful, just start passing them out, sticking them on every old lady's pocketbook, whatever. Everybody needs a pen.
We got wrestling cards, too.
Everybody loves pens. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's not like JTW where Ricky O hands out pens for us, but still.
Yeah, well, he steals our pens, and then he sticks them in people's pockets as they're standing up clapping, and they don't even know they have a pen in their pocket.
But you can always use a pen. You can't get mad at a pen.
You can't get mad at them. Yeah, actually, you can when you start writing with them, it don't work.
Good thing that our pens work.
Yes, our pens were pre-tested and company approved. So, and Jesus Christ, bro, your breath stinks from that wine.
Wine?
Whew. Breathe the other way.
It's my birthday.
It's our birthday. Nick, are you going to get trashed tonight watching WrestleMania?
I'm already on number 1 right now.
Oh, what a bunch of winos. Jesus. I'm the only freaking...
I just got to where I was going to watch WrestleMania. Got here just before the show started. I'm ready to go.
I'm the only sober one on this damn network.
That's right, but I am of age to drink, so...
Well,
we don't promote that.
Yes, we do not promote underage drinking. And ladies and gentlemen, be responsible. Do not drink and drive. Get a designated driver or call a cab if you are out tonight watching WrestleMania at a local bar.
Right.
Please do not get on the road, because those yes, yes, yes can turn into no really quick. So,
we don't want none of that.
And when if you get pulled over and the cop says, "Did you have too much to drink?" That's not the good time to go yes, yes, yes.
Don't say no, neither. Just say no. What?
Don't be pointing your hands through the sunroof going, yes!
If Daniel Bryan wins the world title for that, I can guarantee that will happen numerous times.
Well, as long as they're not driving drunk, I don't think the cops are going to care if you're driving around around town, pointing your hand in the air, yelling, yes, 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 because anybody who's anybody knows that it's WrestleMania, and...
It's a showcase of immortals.
It is, and at this time, our caller is calling in, so let's put him through.
Y-A-N-K-E-S. Here come the Yankees. Let's get behind and cheer the Yankees. They're gonna learn to fear the Yankees. Everyone knows they play to win. 'Cause they're the New York Yankees.
And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome to the show former New York Yankee and producer of the movie Reunion 108 is Billy Sample. Welcome to the show, Billy.
Thanks, Kevin. How are you doing?
We're doing good.
Wonderful.
How are you doing on this beautiful WrestleMania 30 Sunday? I asked a baseball guy how he's doing on WrestleMania Sunday.
I see. The only connection I think I have, or the biggest connection I have to wrestling, is that I was in the same district as Tony Atlas.
Okay.
And I think we're actually the same age. He went to Patrick Henry High School, and that was one of our rivals at Andrew Lewis. I think that's my biggest connection, and probably my only connection, although I haven't met Tony outside of high school, so I can just sit back and just marvel at his career and say, oh, yeah, we're from the same part of the country, same part of the woods.
That's
so
okay.
I'm excited about that, but I love it. I think it takes a tremendous athlete to be a wrestler. You have to be so well-conditioned. I tried it a little bit my freshman year in high school, and I realized that I need to go to an easier sport.
Oh, so you tried out baseball that plays 6 months.
Yeah, but you don't get the physical exertion, I think, or have to expend it the way in baseball as you do in some of the other sports. And I still appreciate the skill in baseball. I think there's some talent there, some skill that really can't be matched. And even though everybody has played baseball to some degree, that's why at the highest level it's a little difficult. But still, to compare it to some of the other sports, the guts that you have to play hockey, to drop in front of a slap shot or take a fucking mouth and 50 stitches not miss a period, that always amazes me, because every time I got cut and bled, I called it a day. Folks, I'm bleeding. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And wrestling would certainly be one of those. Boxing would be another one where you have to be in tremendous condition, and I just admire those people. And I think most people in other sports admire people, or other parts of entertainment admire other entertainers. So I have the utmost respect for people that really put it out on the line, and certainly wrestlers do, because you're out and exposed. Even if it's predetermined sometimes the outcome, it still takes tremendous talent to do the things that you do, to bounce, to flip, to land off the apron and onto the mat and back up. And I just marvel at it. I don't even know how you can coordinate some of the stuff that goes on there.
Practice makes perfect.
You need a promo? I'll do that too.
Hey.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about this new movie that you are producing.
Well, actually, I wrote the script, Kevin, in about 2011. I submitted it to the Hoboken Film Festival. It took top honors. And I decided, okay, let me see if I can't produce it, because it's just so different. I thought it would take me a lot longer to try to sell it to somebody. So I took a SAG, ultra-low budget, produced it, went into debt, maxed out everything, and now I'm trying to make some money out of it. But it was a lot of fun. The actors were tremendous. We shot in 2012, and we should have it out fairly soon. In fact, check the movie's Facebook or my Facebook, and we'll update people on what is going on. We've had 3 showings. The last one, about 6 weeks ago, it was our New York area premiere in Suffern, New York, at the beautiful Lafayette Theater, and it's so much fun to hear people laugh in unison. And when you're sitting here writing and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm writing this for this age group or that age group, and granted, some of the people there are a little younger, and I think it's more of a young adult kind of audience, even though I've had women my age love it as well. But to hear them laugh in unison where I thought the laughter would be was just priceless to hear. And so we're going to have some more of that. At the moment, I'm self-distributing, but I should have a distributor in probably the next week or so it'll be a little easier to people see it en masse. But it's a generation, it's 2 generations, I should say, of baseball players returning for a minor league reunion. And in the process, they start telling anecdotes from their, not necessarily on the field, history. And I think in there where the humor is, and I tell a story every once in a while. It's an edgy, satirical, R-rated comedy, but it's got a little bite to it. But I think you'll enjoy it. I think people will enjoy it. If you could get through the Wolf of Wall Street and that morality, then you should be fine with Reunion 108. But it's got a bite in there every once in a while, so it's not for everybody, but if you can see an R-rated movie, I think it's R for pervasive sex references, crude dialogue, language, and some strong sexuality. Nailed it. No, but if you can get through that, then I think you can learn some things just through the clubhouse, because it's more of a clubhouse. It has a baseball backdrop, but it's more of a clubhouse movie. And so even baseball people who know the game real well will see things behind the scenes that they really hadn't seen before.
Okay, are you in the movie?
Yes, I am. Way too much. I thought I would have a smaller role in the movie, and then as I got close, and actually we auditioned for the part that I play, and I thought maybe somebody else would do it and I would just have a smaller part, but then I got to thinking, wait a minute, I'm really extending myself. I might as well go ahead, and I know what I want out of this role, so I went on and filled it myself, and I think I did okay. There were a couple of days where I thought, what on earth am I doing? I'm not a thespian. My high school drama teacher wouldn't be real proud of what he sees on the screen. But I think in the end it was okay. I was really impressed with the actors all around. We didn't have any prima donnas, which was good for a first-time filmmaker, and everybody was just talented. Just to see people take that role and just run with it, whether it was a large role where we had maybe about 30 larger roles or 50 smaller roles, no matter the role, people just took it and made it their own, and I was really so impressed with it. I can't thank them enough, because for a lot of them, I wasn't paying them all that much. We had maybe 35 SAG actors of the 80 or so, and the other 45 were doing it out of a labor of love. They got paid, but it wasn't enough where you're going to make a lot of money on it. So I hope we can get out there quickly so at least they can have their moment in the sun as well.
Okay. Nick, you have any questions?
It's not related to the movie or anything like that, but do you still have any contact within the baseball world or the Yankees organization in general?
I'm gonna tell you what, Nick. My 1 year there doesn't really carry very far. You could be in the baseball season and in August forget the people that were your teammates in May. So my year there in 1985, granted it was a good year, was Mattingly's MVP season. We won 97 games, but it was before the wild card, so we finished second to Toronto, and we had Ken Griffey Sr. and Winfield and Ricky Henderson and Mike Palliarulo's first full season at third base, and Willie Randolph was still there, and Butch Weiniger and Ron Hassey were behind the plate. Ron Guidry's last 21 seasons, so you had a lot of hope on that team, but whether or not they remember a lot of me, maybe a little bit more because I was in the media as a broadcaster and as a writer, so my name carries a little bit further, but if you're asking for connections for front row seats, no. Not even when I was playing would they have given me that.
So you were on the team that lost to Seattle. No. That was 96.
That was wait a minute. I was there in 85. So the year with Seattle, it was Mattingly's last year. That was that 95?
95 was his last year. So you were 85. Yeah. You were 85.
No, this was 85. This was a while ago, but I still have some of it on tape, so I can remind myself what it was like 29 years or so ago. But it was a good team. It was Yogi's last 16 games, and then Billy Martin came for whatever tenure it was for Billy. So there was a lot going on there. It was a little different coming from Texas there, because this was before Nolan Ryan had gotten to Texas and Bobby Valentine had managed in Texas, and Tom Grieve was a general manager that allowed Bobby Valentine the freedom to really PR the area as well as he did. So it was a lot different coming from Texas to New York in that time period. Just the media, the number of media was just so different, and it was in the days where George was a little more involved. He was a little more hands-on, although he backed off a little bit in 85, but there was always something going on. I told some of the New York writers that they had it lucky because they never had to look for a story. A story was already and always in front of them. So to that degree, it was a different time. It was just really a different time. The pinstripes were different. Players looked about the same, but the era was, things changed, and you expect that over a period of time.
Billy, this is JT. I was going to ask you, in 73, the Texas Rangers drafted you, and you didn't sign with them. Then after your junior year, you signed with them after you were drafted in the 10th round. Also, you played for the Braves and the Yankees. What was the transition like from the Rangers to the Braves to the Yankees?
Well, let's see. In 73, I was drafted in the 28th round. The scout could hear my disappointment when he called me to tell me that I was drafted. At that time, there were 24 teams. He said, Bill, as the Texas Rangers, we drafted you in the 28th round. And then he could hear my disappointment. I said, and he said, well, Bill, 23 other teams passed over you 27 times. That's to say, don't blame us for drafting you. So then I went on, played college ball for 3 years, a very good summer league program, was drafted again in the 10th round after, as you alluded to, in 1976. Signed, spent 3 years in the minors, and came up at the end of 78 for good. And then by 1984, I had worn out my welcome in Texas, so I knew it was time to leave. And I had followed the Yankees growing up. When you live in Southwest Virginia back in those days, the only game you got to see was the game of the week. And even though the Yankees weren't playing particularly well when I was growing up because of the media market, we got to see a lot of the Yankees. So I knew I could mimic Bobby Richardson's batting stance, and I knew that when Tony Kubek struck out, he always sprinted to the dugout like he was embarrassed that he had struck out. And,
Right.
and Joe Pepitone still teases me today like we were teammates. So that's really nice. And Roy White was probably the one that I had followed the most. And we were a lot alike in the way we played the outfield, and our careers only intersected about a year. But finally, in 1985, he was working for the Yankees in the front office. I had completed the trade to New York. I called him over to my locker, and I said, Roy, look, I didn't have role models like a lot of people, but I always admired the quiet, dignified way you played with the Yankees, especially during those lean years. He looked at me, and Roy's got this voice like Orson Welles. He said, yeah, right, Bill. Right. So I've been harping this thought all these years, and Roy thought I was putting him on by saying that. But I knew the Yankees well, so when I was traded to them in '85, it was kind of a full circle for me in a certain way. I have a cousin, Stanley, who grew up in New York, still lives in New York. So some of the things that we talked about as youth, we could talk about as young adults. So that was nice.
All right, awesome. What do you see that holds for the Yankees this year? How do you see them finishing with their new Japanese import and maybe an aging team and Derek Jeter in his last year of his career? Do you think they have enough pitching to get deep this year, or they still need to get younger?
Well, they certainly addressed everything. They addressed the pitching, and you saw just yesterday how well. He was 24-0 in Japan. And you saw just how well he could throw yesterday. That slider was really tight once he got settled a little bit, and the split is just bottoms out. And so you can see where he can give everybody an opportunity to win. And it certainly seems with Ellsbury that they're going to have a lot more run support for the pitching staff. So they addressed their needs. Brian McCann was the best catcher on the market, a good offensive catcher in a park where he can turn on some balls, middle of the plate in, and hit home runs. So I think they've done everything they could do, and it certainly seems to assure that they won't miss the playoffs again. The flip side of that is that they're playing in a very competitive division. The Orioles are going to be good. The Red Sox, as you know, are going to be good unless they're going to get old in a short period of time, and it doesn't appear that they are. The Rays are always good. It's amazing what they do with their limited budget, but they compete year in and year out, and David Price is still there. And he'll still be there the rest of the year if they remain competitive. So in as much as it seems as though the Yankees have done everything to assure their fans that they're going to be in the postseason this year, a couple injuries here or there, then you just never know. But it certainly seems as though that the young players are playing well. It's so early, who knows? But they've done everything they could do. Carlos Beltran being here as well. You know how well he performs in the postseason. So I can't argue with what Brian Cashman has done. And I don't think anybody really can, because they didn't want to be in the same situation as they were at the end of last year. They went out, spent a lot of money, and addressed their needs, and you just have to let it play out. And if you're a Yankees fan, hope that no one gets seriously hurt.
Okay, getting back to your movie, do you guys have an estimated, or at least a hope guesstimate of when the movie will hit theaters?
I'm thinking if I can get some confirmation this week, it should be by the end of the month, maybe early May. I have the luxury of having the whole baseball season, but I don't want to delve too deeply into the season before having it out, and this would be the best opportunity. And by all indications that I'll have it out, I'll know exactly. Probably by this time next week, and I certainly will get back to you, if you will, to tell everybody, to keep people abreast on what it is, because I think you'd really enjoy it. It's a little offbeat. It's a little like its author, like me, a little offbeat. But I think you'll enjoy it. There are a lot of laughs in there, and as I said with the premiere, just to hear that laughter just sort of gave me an affirmation that I hit on the mark that I wanted to hit.
All right, cool. I mean, yeah, definitely let us know. Send us messages on Facebook. Let us know when it's going to premiere. We'll definitely get you back on the show.
I've only heard good things about it.
Yeah, hopefully by the weekend that it's supposed to come out, we can get you on the show that weekend and have maybe a little launching party for you here. And
thank you. That'd be great.
yeah.
Have you sent you some clips?
Yeah, it'll be
Have
all.
you seen any of the clips? I usually send out 2 or 3 clips.
You sent them to me.
Before the movie, so I certainly will do that if I failed to do that already. But I'll certainly do that too, and maybe when you get a little lull or you get a second where somebody's not speaking, then you can say, oh yeah, Billy Sample did send that, and my goodness, he is really crazy, just like he said.
That's a good idea.
Well, we wish you luck, and keep in touch and let us know what's going on. And thank you again for coming on the show. And if you get a chance, I hope you can catch some WrestleMania tonight.
Okay, thanks, Coach Kev. I appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye. That was former New York Yankee Billy Sample, ladies and gentlemen. New movie Reunion 108 that will be coming to theaters soon, and we will release more information on our website when we know. We are going to go to a commercial break. We'll be back on the flip side of 30 seconds.
Esposito's Pizza and Pasta. Over a decade of excellent dining experience. Dine in, take out, or free delivery. We feature over 25 different types of pizza pies, and also will create anything you want. Our sauces are made fresh daily and use only the freshest ingredients. We also have good old-fashioned style entrees, cooked like your mom used to make. From wraps, calzones, rolls, and pasta specials galore to calamari and soups, all in a cozy atmosphere. Call today or stop on in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're going to get right into our WrestleMania picks since the pre-show has started, and we want to get it out there before people say that we cheated.
We don't cheat. You know that.
So, okay. So the match is going on right now for the WWE Tag Team Championship. It's a Fatal 4 elimination match?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Who do you got for this match?
As much as I want to pick the Real Americans, I really do think that the Usos will retain.
I also agree. I want to pick the Real Americans as well because I like Jack Swagger. I love Cesaro, but I just can't see anybody but the Usos coming out on top in this one.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, Rybacksel has no shot. The Matadors, forget it.
That'd be an upset. Be a nice upset, but
I mean, it would kind of go good. You know, they had their dad inducted into the Hall of Fame last night, so that kind of
there's just no way they win that match.
You never know. But I'm gonna go with the Usos as well. The Divas Invitational, everybody versus AJ Lee. Who you got?
I gotta go with my girl AJ. She'll find a way to win it. I don't see them taking the title from her tonight.
Absolutely, 100% AJ Lee. AJ Lee.
AJ Lee. All right, so we got 2 for AJ, and I'm gonna go out there and I am going to say that Natalya will leave with the WWE Divas Championship tonight.
We love you, AJ.
Next match on the card, well, at least our card, the Andre the Giant, the Man of Big Men Memorial Battle Royal. Who do you have as the winner?
Everybody's gonna laugh. I'm gonna say he's gonna come out of the dead. He's gonna not be buried anymore. It's gonna be insane. I'm going with Dolph Ziggler. Don't sue me.
Dolph Ziggler.
Who just happens to be the man in the middle of the poster. Who do you got? I mean, remember, there's 3 mystery contestants.
Right.
Which probably are going to be... Kevin Nash is probably going to be one of them. So.
Can I pick a mystery contestant?
You can pick whoever you want.
Well, I was going to go with the Big Show.
Okay.
It's the Big Show.
It's the Big Show.
The Big Show. Man's a monster. He was in the finals in our Big Man tournament against Andre the Giant. So, fitting the Big Show could take it here. But I don't know who one of these 3 mystery opponents are. So, I think now I'm going to go with a mystery opponent.
You're not going to name them, though?
No.
Really, I'm just going to go
I got a better chance of just saying mystery opponent.
I'm going to go with Wrestler X.
Mystery opponent. The Brooklyn Brawler.
You get half credit if you get the Brooklyn Brawler. He was at the Hall of Fame. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Sin Cara. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God.
You botched that one. You botched that one, buddy.
I am going to go with Alexander Rusev.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like him
that's
too.
a good
No,
pick.
you already had yours. Stop backing out.
He's not a mystery opponent?
No. The Shield versus Kane and the Old Age Home Outlaws.
Oh, I'm going with the Shield. You can't not have them winning this match. If they don't win, there's something very wrong with it. I'm going with the Shield.
I'm definitely going the opposite way. I'm going with Kane and the New Age Outlaws. I could see this ending with Roman Reigns spearing Dean Ambrose
By
by accident.
Okay.
So they say. Seth Rollins gets pissed. Dean Ambrose gets pissed. They turn on Roman Reigns. And now you got Roman Reigns as the babyface and Rollins and Ambrose
as a tag team.
tagging up.
It's an interesting curve. I think if they were going to break them up, they would have did it and set up a match, which a lot of people picked. They all picked a three-way for the U.S. title, all three members of S.H.I.E.L.D. for the U.S. title. That didn't happen because the S.H.I.E.L.D. is still together. If they do break up the S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't think it's going to happen until right around SummerSlam. And I'm going to believe in the S.H.I.E.L.D. in this match.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah, I know. That's why I went that way.
Right.
All right, moving on. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt.
If John Cena doesn't lay down for Bray Wyatt in this match and Bray Wyatt doesn't win, there are going to be some big problems. I'm going with Bray Wyatt.
I would love to see Bray Wyatt win this match, but I cannot see Cena losing this match at WrestleMania. I just can't for some reason. I've just got this feeling Cena wins.
I'm going with my Halloween costume. I'm going with Bray Wyatt. I think it's his turn to step into the spotlight and give the next generation of wrestlers a little push, like Roman Reigns, like Bray Wyatt, like Cesaro, and I think it will be Bray Wyatt in the end. The streak match, the Phenom versus the Beast, the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
I don't think anybody even has to say a word right now. If you're not picking the Undertaker in this match, I don't even know what to say. I'm going with the Undertaker.
Go with the Undertaker.
I'm not saying a word. You know who I'm going with.
Who are you going with? Stone Cold Steve Austin?
He told me not to say a word. I would go with Stone Cold if he was in this match, but he's not. So I'm going with the Dead Man.
Going with the Dead Man. The only reason why I'm going to go with the Dead Man is because this was a terrible booking. There was terrible lead up to this match. Awful storyline leading up. And they're already talking about next year signing Sting and having The Undertaker fight Sting next year. So there would be absolutely no reason to have Sting fight The Undertaker if there wasn't a streak on the line. So you have to go with The Undertaker here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. The initial match, Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. The winner enters the main event as a member of the Triple Threat match. So Daniel Bryan versus Triple H.
I'm actually going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say that there will be no winner. It'll be either be a double count or double disqualification, and the main event will be a fatal four-way.
Wow.
Man, why do you have to say that? We just talked about that Wednesday on VOC, and
Why would you say that? Here's what I think's going to happen. I would like to see Triple H win this match and actually win the title and then vacate it and have a tournament, something like the King of the Ring, for the title at next year's pay-per-view. But that's probably not going to happen. What I see happening is somehow we see CM Punk, he comes back, he interferes in this match, gets himself involved in tonight's main event, and he fights for his contract, which is up in July, also for the WWE title.
But does he come back as CM Punk or Corporate Punk?
He comes back as CM Punk. Nobody wants to see Corporate Punk right now.
I'm going with Daniel Bryan straight up. No interference, no loopholes.
He deserves it.
Triple H being the champion is, and not to steal a line from Triple H, bad for business. You can't have the COO, the champion of your own brand. That's like playing softball in a league that you run. It's just not good for business. Championship match. Randy Orton, the champion, versus Batista versus
Who knows?
and Nick said Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan versus Orton versus Batista. Who do you got?
I'm going with Daniel Bryan, but like Jake said, I do see some kind of CM Punk interference, and I do see CM Punk showing up tonight in some way or some form in the main event or during the Triple H Bryan match. I see CM Punk showing up. I see Bryan winning the title.
Okay, you got the same thing, right?
I got the same thing if we have Bryan in the main event. If not, if we see Triple H in the main event, I don't know. Like I said, I would like to see Triple H win the title and then vacate it and have a tournament for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But I would like to see Randy Orton, retain the title, and they continue to push him and build him up as this great superstar who just defies all odds and can't be stopped. But the last thing I want to see is Batista even walking out of WrestleMania, let alone with any title around him.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Batista...
We boo him.
I just called him Batista.
Good, I want to.
Batista is there for nostalgia reasons at this point. I think Daniel Bryan wins the title. I do think he loses the title tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw back to Orton.
Ugh.
I'm sorry. That's just the way
Why would you do that?
Because Orton is starting to get a little bit of a smirky face turn. The crowds are starting to react to him a little bit more because of the negative feeling they have towards Batista. And look, Daniel Bryan's had this underdog persona for a long time now. Okay? He wins the title. There's only one way to go. Down. The underdog gimmick doesn't work if you're the champion.
True.
Okay.
So there's only one way to go. So if you give him the belt, yay, he wins the belt. He loses it on Raw tomorrow to Orton. It kind of still puts him in that underdog. I screwed Triple H. I got you, Triple H. Pretty much that's what I wanted to prove to you, that I am an A player. I beat you. I beat Orton and Batista. I was the champion. Yeah, I dropped it to Orton on Monday Night Raw, but I proved you all wrong, and I will not stop fighting and continuing to prove you all wrong.
I can see that totally.
Because if you're the champion, there's no way to go but down.
And you know what could happen? I could see that happening, and maybe Punk doesn't show up tonight. Maybe Bryan wins tonight. Tomorrow he faces Orton. Maybe Punk comes in. You see corporate Punk screw Bryan and give Orton the title back.
It's a possibility, and
yeah.
I mean, you could also see Lesnar get involved. Lesnar causes Bryant the title, and then that pushes Lesnar into the title picture because remember, Paul Heyman's been prancing him around as the number one contender for months.
I could actually see Brock Lesnar squaring up with Batista after this, because I don't see Randy Orton getting pinned, losing the title. If anything, I feel like Daniel Bryan might hit Batista with a running knee, or maybe Brock Lesnar interferes and F5's Batista. You never know.
I mean, Batista couldn't get involved. Maybe, maybe he gets in the ring and Batista goes for a spear, winds up hitting Lesnar, and Lesnar winds up having no effect on the match, but the fact that Batista hit Lesnar with the spear could set up a Lesnar. But I just don't see Lesnar fighting anybody at this point without a title.
Well, he's gonna be pissed anyway once he loses to the Undertaker.
But he's gonna fight someone for the title. So whoever walks out as champion, Lesnar's gonna get involved in because there's no reason for Heyman to be prancing him around as the so-called number one contender if he doesn't fight for the title.
There's really nowhere else to put him.
No. So that's what I say. I say tomorrow he gets involved, costs Daniel Bryan the match, and sets up a Lesnar maybe versus Daniel Bryan for the number one contender. Punk gets involved, and Lesnar becomes the number one contender, and he fights Orton at the next pay-per-view.
And maybe we could see a Punk and Bryan feud?
It's a possibility.
For the next year?
It's a possibility.
That'd be cool. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you or Nick see The Undertaker returning after WrestleMania to continue to fight as he did last year for a little bit until the Shield?
He'll probably come back on Raw. He always usually does. But you might see him one more time before next WrestleMania.
And you say that
well, maybe not one more time, but I agree. I see him showing up tomorrow because it's the night after Raw, and but he probably won't show up past tomorrow night for at least a couple months.
And you think that you'll see him next WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Which will probably be his final WrestleMania.
You really think he's got one more after this?
One more
I think-
match. One more match.
He's got one more in him.
I'd love to see it. I can't wait to see it tonight.
Well, we're not going to be able to see it
Prove me
tonight
wrong. Prove me wrong.
because we're getting to that time of the show where we need to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you to Billy Sample for giving us a call in. Hope to get Ken Shamrock on another show. Sorry that we missed him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to show number 15 and 1-year anniversary of Damage 365 Radio. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely enjoy WrestleMania 30. Have a great night. And
It
yes,
has been a pleasure.
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.